This episode is provided by Thomas Allgaier and Frennis, based on the most relevant LinkedIn posts about AI and B2B marketing in calendar weeks 37 and 38. Frennis is a B2B market research company helping enterprise marketing teams sharpen their strategies and outreach with customer segmentation, ideal customer profiles, and deep dives, customer needs analyses, and buying center insights. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Our mission today.
Well, it's really to cut through the noise around AI and get straight to the revenue impact.
Absolutely.
Because, in the last few weeks, the conversation on LinkedIn about AI and B2B marketing, it feels like it's completely shifted.
Oh, totally.
It's not about, oh, wow, look what AI could do someday. It's really zeroed in on execution, actual pipeline impact, and go-to-market GTM strategy wins. People are doing stuff now.
That's the critical pivot, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've sort of moved past the shiny object phase.
Right.
And the key mission now for anyone in B2B is really distilling these insights. We need to understand where operators are actually seeing wins, like measurable pipeline impact, practical quick wins you can implement.
Stefan Riepen was really on the money when he said AI isn't just entertainment, it's about revenue.
Yeah.
He pointed out that 78% of sales teams are already shortening their sales cycles. And how? By optimizing processes using AI. It's about using tech to get organized, handle data better, and just move faster.
Okay, so let's unpack this shift. Where should we start? I think the biggest theme emerging in the sources was this idea of agentic marketing.
Ah, yes, AI agents.
Right, we're talking about AI agents that don't just, draft a nice email for you. They're more like autonomous systems that actually act, learn, and personalize across the whole funnel.
And this agentic marketing idea, it's kind of revolutionizing B2B strategy, mainly because it addresses this new type of buyer, right? The high-velocity, really self-educated buyer.
Okay.
Sarah McConnell described it well. She said the traditional funnel just can't keep up anymore. You've got buyers doing maybe 6 hours of research before they even talk to a rep.
Wow. 6 hours.
Yeah. So agentic AI steps in as this, always-on personalized solution to engage them earlier and more effectively.
And the potential scope here seems massive.
Wow.
I saw Robert Zimmerman outline something like 14 different ways agentic AI transforms the marketing funnel.
Yeah, it covers a lot.
Everything from instant engagement, 24/7 availability, all the way to personalized nurturing and even predictive analytics for pipeline forecasting. It's this whole end-to-end vision. But it does make you wonder, how are these agents really different from just using a standard ChatGPT prompt?
That's the core thing people often miss, I think. Sumit N. put it really well. He said, 99% of people are talking about AI agents, but the winners, they're the 1% who are actually building them.
Building them as systems.
Exactly, as structured systems. They're not just single prompts thrown over the wall. The real path forward requires thinking in systems. You're combining large language models, specific tools, memory, and structured workflow.
Tell me more about that.
That memory component is really key. It means the agent remembers past interactions, it can correct its own mistakes over time, and it learns. It gets better.
Ah, okay. That makes sense. So it's less like a one-off command and more like a tiny rules-based GTM operating system almost.
Pretty much, yeah.
And when people implement this right, the results are they're huge. Sumit shared that at his company, DevComX, they saw 3 to 4 times more meetings booked per 1,000 sends just by switching to these production AI SDR agents.
Wow.
It's not just a little tweak. That's a fundamental shift in efficiency, right?
Absolutely. The agent really acts as this ultimate orchestration layer. And Kati Terfolskaya actually provided a pretty useful 5-step framework for getting started with agentic GTM.
Okay.
It involves things like auditing your hot accounts first, then building dynamic audiences. She calls them MQAs, marketing qualified accounts.
MQAs, got it.
And then deploying outbound AI agents specifically against those really well-defined lists. And she's seeing this lead to something like a 5 to 10x increase in outbound scale. It's precision at volume.
That kind of velocity, that scale. It takes us right into our second major theme, SDR automation, and the really contentious space of cold outbound.
Ah, yes, the is it dead debate.
Exactly. If these agents can orchestrate outreach at 10x scale, does that mean cold outbound is finally done for?
Well, according to the sources we looked at, the answer seems to be no. But, and it's a big but, it requires surgical precision.
Okay.
That whole narrative that outbound is dead. It got immediately challenged by people who are clearly winning with it right now. Like Shapir B. shared this amazing story. Booked a $56,000 ARR deal from a single cold message.
$56,000 from one cold message. How?
The trick was using AI to surface these really deep third-level signals, things like recent market expansions or specific leadership changes, stuff a human would probably never catch manually, or it would take ages.
Right. I remember spending hours digging for those kinds of signals on LinkedIn profiles.
Exactly, and they could use that insight to craft a genuinely problem-first email in under 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Okay, that fundamentally changes the SDR job description, doesn't it? But that success story, it seems to contrast really sharply with some of the failures we're hearing about with mass automation. Hamid Elias Kermani, for instance, argued pretty strongly that the claim AI SDRs will replace human SDRs is maybe the biggest lie in sales right now.
Yeah, and the data seems to back up that need for human oversight. Hamid found that purely AI-driven outreach, it gets a pretty dismal 0.5% reply rate.
Ouch.
Yeah.
0.5%.
But, and here's the key, when you add human oversight back in, so you have a person managing the strategy, doing quality control, handling the relationship building, that reply rate jumps 6 times. Up to 3%.
6 times higher. Okay.
So the insight there seems pretty clear. AI can generate the volume, sure, but it's the human who generates the signal, finds the relevance, and builds the necessary trust.
Which I guess connects to Abbas Samji's concept. I found this fascinating. He called it putting AI in chains.
Putting AI in chains. Okay.
Yeah. His point was that the fantasy of mass AI personalization just fails because it leads to hallucinations and generic fluff.
Right. We've all seen those emails.
Exactly. So his solution, surgical targeting,
Mm-hmm.
moving away from broad lists and getting super specific, like VPs who moved from an enterprise company to a startup in the last 90 days. Really niche.
Okay, super targeted list first, and then?
And then once you have that list, you constrain the AI brutally. Somebody's approach was basically only use AI for the first line of the email.
Just the first line.
Yeah. And with these ironclad constraints, maximum 12 words, reference one specific fact from your research, and absolutely no adjectives or fluff. Just the fact.
Wow, that's strict. 12 words max.
By applying that kind of, brutal constraint paradox, you actually end up driving quality and relevance, not just volume.
Interesting. But this still raises a big question about the sustainability of high volume, doesn't it? Even if the conversion is a bit better. Marcus Stolberg warned about this. He said, yeah, AI SDRs deliver volume, speed, persistence. But conversion is the ultimate differentiator.
Without high conversion, just cranking up the volume leads you right back to low conversion bulk email territory, especially as people get better at recognizing AI-generated spam patterns.
And we saw a perfect, if small, example of that trust erosion in a test Kevin Paul ran.
Oh yeah, tell me about that one.
Well, it was a small sample, only 150 emails total, but they tested the exact same email copy. In one batch, they disclosed up front, hey, this email was written by AI.
Okay, and the result?
0 replies.
0.
0. Compared to 7 replies for the identical email without that disclosure. So right now, at least, it seems like transparency about AI use might actually damage the perceived authenticity of the message.
That's quite telling, isn't it? People want connection, not just efficiency.
Definitely. Okay, let's shift gears a bit and move inside the organization. Theme 3. Accelerating workflow and dealing with data. Because AI isn't just about outbound, it's becoming a massive internal time saver too, removing a lot of that administrative dead weight.
Right, the internal efficiency gains. Yeah. Chase Diamond highlighted Apollo's AI assistant. Apparently, it can do things like complete lead list building, find verified emails, and set up personalized sequences, all in about 12 minutes.
12 minutes.
A task that he said previously took his team 2 entire days.
2 days down to 12 minutes. That's potentially 3.5 extra selling days a week back in their pocket.
Exactly.
And it echoes what Andres Perez was saying. He emphasized it's not always about closing more deals, but closing the deals you have faster.
Right, removing friction.
Yeah, by streamlining things like lead prioritization, helping draft outreach, analyzing sales calls afterwards. The human still does the critical selling part, but AI clears away all the administrative muck that slows things down.
And Nico Gillard pointed out something interesting, too, that sticking to manual processes might actually be starting to decrease credibility now.
Huh.
Well, think about it. Your prospects are interacting with companies where, action items are automatically extracted from a meeting, follow-ups are drafted instantly, the CRM gets updated right away. If you're still scrambling to manually take notes and follow up days later, it just doesn't look as professional or efficient.
Yeah, that's a good point. It sets an expectation.
And probably the most critical friction point AI seems to be solving internally is lead qualification.
Oh, definitely. That's a huge bottleneck for so many teams.
Right. Carolyn Healy provided I think it was 9 proven tactics. She showed that things like predictive scoring can give you a 43% improvement in qualification accuracy.
The 43% is significant.
And dynamic profile enrichment. That yielded 78% more accurate ideal customer profiles. And Stav Aldag mentioned tools like Knock AI that help map your own first-party data into actual intent signals.
So sales isn't wasting time.
Exactly. So sales teams can focus only on the buyers who are actually showing signs they're ready to engage.
Okay, but all this speed, all this acceleration, it only multiplies what's already there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which brings us to the big, scary elephant in the room, data integrity.
Yep. None of that acceleration matters if your foundational data is, well, rotten.
That's the classic garbage in, garbage out problem amplified. Jonathan M.K. stated that a staggering 83% of GTM teams are struggling with AI implementation. And why?
Let me guess. Bad data.
Poor data quality and a lack of governance. Andrew Mewborn agreed, basically warning that if your sales process is already broken, slapping AI on top just automates the noise. It makes the problem catastrophically worse faster.
And just imagine that kind of problem scaling up at 100x speed. Charlie Saunders raised this really genuine risk of a data catastrophe.
Data catastrophe sounds bad.
Yeah. He warned that if you have autonomous agents updating opportunities in your CRM incorrectly, but doing it at hyper speed, you need entirely new ways to validate and monitor that data, or you risk suddenly finding all your deals marked closed lost by mistake.
Oof. Yeah, that would be bad. The big takeaway there feels pretty simple, though. Automating a bad process with AI doesn't save time. It just helps you fail bigger and faster.
Fail at scale, not ideal.
So if automating bad data leads to catastrophe, the only real solution is to fundamentally change how we build our GTM strategy in the first place.
Which brings us nicely to our final theme. Looking at AI-driven strategic alignment and visibility, how AI is changing the bigger picture.
Right, moving up from tactics to strategy.
Exactly. Srini Annamaraju challenged founders to ditch what he called the old GTM, the fixed, annually refreshed ICP, the rigid annual pricing cycles.
The way things have been done for ages.
Yeah, and embrace an AI GTM instead, which means adopting speed as a core strategic principle. Using AI signals to refresh your ICP maybe quarterly, tuning your product packaging quarterly too, just to keep pace with how fast the market shifts now.
That strategic shift, though, it highlights a massive readiness gap that Luigi pointed out. He noted something like 96% of leaders are stressed out by all the AI chaos.
I believe it.
But only 28% are actually seeing real improvements yet. And often the reason why is they're just bolting AI onto already broken workflows instead of embedding it strategically from the ground up.
Yeah, Kunstam reinforced that. He basically said 95% of AI pilots flop, not because the AI failed, but because the GTM leaders failed the AI.
Ouch. So the successful companies are the ones integrating it thoughtfully into their core strategy.
Seems like it. And while all this internal strategy is shifting, the external landscape, how buyers actually find us, is changing too.
You mean search?
Yeah, but maybe not search as we knew it. Marcus Sheridan argued pretty compellingly that AI visibility, or AEO AI engine optimization, is the next megatrend.
AEO. Okay, new acronym.
His thinking is that AI recommenders, like the ones powering chatbots and new search interfaces, will reward brands based on whether they answer human questions transparently and directly, just like a helpful human would.
So if you hide important info, like pricing,
AI might just reject you. It won't recommend you because you're not being helpful and transparent.
Interesting. That's a big shift from just keywords and backlinks. And are people already acting on this AEO idea?
Apparently so. Maj Vojay confirmed that something like 68% of searches already include an AI-generated response.
68%? Wow. That's fast adoption.
Right. And she mentioned specific B2B brands, LaneChain, Momentum, Clay, who she says are already crushing AI search. And the big benefit seems to be speed. AEO can apparently spike much faster than traditional SEO.
Faster than SEO? How?
It seems to instantly reward things like high-authority backlinks and maybe enhanced social media indexing. So theoretically, you have a fighting chance to compete with the established giants almost immediately if you play the AEO game right.
Okay, so that's a whole new frontier opening up.
Definitely. So if we try to synthesize the key tensions from this whole deep dive, it feels like there are two strong forces pulling the BGTM world right now.
What are they?
Well, first, AI agents are clearly transforming the funnel. There's no denying the speed and scale they bring. That's one force.
Speed and scale from AI.
But second, the most successful GTM teams, the ones really winning, seem to realize that human trust and quality data, Those remain the ultimate differentiators.
Right. Neil Weitzman and Jen Freeman both kind of underscored that duality, didn't they? AI is fantastic for the mechanical stuff, the list building, the research, automating, maybe tier 3 outreach.
The grunt work.
Yeah, the grunt work. But it just cannot replace empathy or intuition or the ability to build real trust when a complex deal is actually on the line. As they put it, AI makes you efficient, but trust is what makes you money.
I like that. Efficient versus money-making. And if we look at the pattern Liam Lawson outlined for the winners, the winners solved actual specific business problems and integrated AI into workflows people were already using. The losers, they built really impressive tech demos, but require huge, difficult behavior changes from the team to adopt them.
So start small, solve a real pain point within the existing flow. Don't try to boil the ocean.
Exactly, which I think raises a really important question for you, the listener, listening to this right now.
Okay, let's hear it.
For your team, what is the single, small, maybe even unsexy problem, a piece of administrative friction, a data bottleneck that, if you automated it with AI today, could realistically compound into measurable revenue gain down the road?
That small, unsexy problem that unlocks bigger gains, that's probably where the real leverage lies, isn't it? Not in the flashiest demo, but in fixing that one annoying thing that slows everyone down.
Exactly. Find that leverage point. If you enjoyed this deep dive, new episodes drop every 2 weeks. Also, check out our other editions on account-based marketing, field marketing, channel marketing, MarTech, go-to-market, and social selling.
Lots to explore there.
Thank you for joining us for this analysis into the latest in B2B AI marketing. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one.